Watching horror stories alone sometimes could get the best of me. I ain't gonna lie. Especially when I do it early in the morning when the house is super quiet. But these are really recommended that you don't watch alone. Thankfully, it's daylight outside by now. I've already got a couple horror stories this morning under my belt. I'm ready to go. I hope you guys are too. This one's by Spooked, one of the best. Make sure to subscribe to him, guys, as well as me if you like reaction videos. And let's get into this one. Alright, story one.
My name is Henry, and I'm
What up,
26. I live in a suburban part of Ohio with my wife, Anna.
Okay.
One night, I was coming home from work at the usual time, which was 6 o'clock to be exact. When I got home, I immediately noticed something was off that day. I couldn't exactly pinpoint it, but I just had that feeling.
Alright.
I opened the front door and found muddied footsteps around the entrance hall.
Uh-oh.
But weirdly, the muddy footsteps restricted to only that part of the house. I then moved over to the kitchen and found the fridge door open. I called out my wife's name, but obviously she wasn't home because she texted me earlier that she was out with her friends and they'd come later in the night.
Thank goodness.
I also don't have any kids, which means someone broke in and did all of this.
But at least didn't do it to your wife.
I looked around the house some more, but I didn't find anything out of place.
Not bad, but
or maybe
could have been worse,
I
right?
didn't notice. Who knows? I thought maybe Anna called someone to fix something in the house, which would explain the muddy footsteps and maybe the open fridge, but honestly, I wasn't sure.
Right.
I called Anna and asked her if she maybe went outside and came back in the house without realizing her shoes were dirty.
Right.
She admitted that that might have happened. That morning, she did go outside to water the plants, but that she doesn't remember with complete certainty.
Okay.
I figured it was Anna and just went to the living room to watch some TV.
Okay.
And after Anna came home, nothing else happened. We had dinner and went to sleep.
Somebody's hiding in your house.
That night, I woke up at around 1 a.m. Just so you know, I'm a light sleeper, so this happened quite often.
Me too.
However, that night, I don't think I woke up because of that. Instead, I kept hearing these faint creaking sounds coming from the floorboard somewhere in the house. I immediately, but quietly, got up and gently walked over to the stairs.
Sure.
I tried my best not to make a sound as I slowly made my way downstairs. I eventually made it downstairs, only to realize that the sound had completely stopped. I quietly made my way back upstairs, as the sound probably came from one of the rooms upstairs, given that I basically looked around the entire ground floor.
Got you.
As I moved up the stairs, I noticed the attic trap door slightly left open.
Whoa. That's
Again,
not good.
It was one of those things that I couldn't be 100% certain about.
They were hiding in your attic.
I never really looked at the attic door that much.
Okay.
So maybe it could have been left open like that.
Still, too many coincidences, man. Way too many coincidences.
I felt like I was going crazy. I made my way back to the bedroom when, right as I entered, I found an old, skinny man standing on the opposite side of the bed.
He got out the attic.
Entering, he was completely unresponsive, just staring down at my sleeping wife.
What the hell?
I screamed so loud that my wife jumped up and almost hit him in the face.
Wow.
She rushed out of bed, and we both went to the backyard to call the cops.
Hell yeah, man.
The cops came and found him in the same numb, zombified behavior. I got a better look at him, and he looked completely brain dead. The cops suspected he was probably on some sort of heavy drugs.
Right.
We thanked them, and they took him away.
Good lord,
I knew I wasn't crazy. My wife said he was probably hiding in our bathroom, which makes me even more unsettled, given that he would have already entered our bedroom beforehand.
Right.
I don't wish this to happen to anybody.
Good lord, man. I've had somebody in my house before. They were drunk and they accidentally came in my house.
And
but
I'm 16 years old.
I had to hold them at gunpoint.
For some
all
context,
kind of stuff.
me and my dad live in a rather remote area, so I usually go out on my motorbike once in a while in the forest because there's a dirt track not too far from where I live.
Those trails are fun on bikes,
One Sunday, I was riding my motorbike to the track when I saw something in the distance that caught my eye. Again, I live in a remote area, so
Sure.
it was rather uncommon to have someone hiking, or
Right.
even anyone else wandering in the forest, for
Sure.
that matter. But weirdly, in the distance, I could make out a man wearing a Mickey Mouse mask. He was just walking, and to be honest, that was enough to make me take the longer route to the dirt
With a
track.
Mickey Mouse mask?
It
Hell
reminded
yeah!
me of that 2016 craze of when
Oh
people
my
used to
God,
dress
the
up as
clowns?
clowns and scare
Yeah.
people in the middle of the night.
Yeah, the hell
Luckily,
with that,
though,
dude.
I don't think the man wanted to do anything with me, given that he was a good 200 feet away from me.
Sure.
I got onto the track and spent about roughly an hour there before packing my stuff and heading back home. At that point, it was about 7 p.m., so it was getting a little dark already.
Right.
To be honest, I was still thinking about that guy in the Mickey Mouse mask on my ride back home.
I would have been too. I would
Not
have
to
left
bore you
as
with
soon
the
as I would have
details,
saw that.
but when I got home, I had dinner with my dad, and nothing really happened
Sure.
until about 11 p.m. in the night.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a night owl, so I often stay up late into the night. Things started becoming creepy when I started to hear these strange squeaking noises
Oh
coming
no.
from outside.
Oh no.
I wouldn't
that
be
guy
able to
followed him
describe the
home.
noises, but they were very unusual, and I immediately
somebody
got
trying to sound like a
intrigued by
mouse.
them. So I got up and looked out my bedroom window. You guessed it.
Yo.
It was that
Mickey
stupid
Mouse man.
Mickey Mouse guy again.
Oh my God.
This
dude.
time, though, he was
Can
in my
you
backyard
imagine?
staring at my window.
Can you imagine?
Upon standing behind my bedroom window, I know he saw me, so I couldn't pretend I wasn't in the house or something. What made it even creepier, though, was
Cops,
that I
man.
realized
Just
that
call the
he was the
cops.
one doing those faint squeaking sounds, almost as if he was trying to imitate a mouse.
Right.
I sprinted
That's what
to
I
my
was
dad's
thinking too.
bedroom and told him some guy dressed up as Mickey Mouse was in our backyard.
Can you
When I
imagine?
entered, he
God!
was already awake, probably because he had also heard the cursed squeaking.
Right.
My dad got up, took his gun out of his drawer,
There you
and
go.
ran downstairs. I went to the window and heard my dad shouting at the top of his lungs as he opened the door to the backyard. The guy bolted in the opposite direction right then and there. On top of that, my dad was a large and rather intimidating man.
Well,
So
a
him with a
gun's
gun pointed
intimidating
at someone
too.
would be more than enough for that person to run for their life.
Sure.
I was relieved, and we never saw or heard that Mickey Mouse guy again.
Oh my
But
God.
I kept wondering, what sort of demented person would dress up as Mickey Mouse and follow a teenager all the way up to his house?
Man. Very demented.
I'm not so sure I want to know, but I'm guessing it's probably some sicko who was either on some sort of mental issue or had a weird obsession of scaring people.
Weird obsession is what I'm betting. No telling though. It could have been somebody off their meds or on
This
meds.
happened to me and my friend slash neighbor Luke a couple of years
Okay.
ago, and it's something we still talk about to this day.
Right.
Together with Luke, we built a tree house in my backyard last summer. We hang out there during the summertime, and it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
During winter, we usually
had a
do
tree house when
something
I was growing
else
up.
than chill in the tree house, obviously because it was too cold. But since at the time this happened, it was summer again, we got a little
Okay.
nostalgic and figured it'd be nice to chill in there like we
Yeah.
used to.
Heck yeah, man.
This time, we made the treehouse even better, adding various
yeah.
decorations and even lighting to make it
Boy,
nicer.
that's a
Got
nice
to the point where
treehouse
the
right there.
treehouse basically became furnished, and
Yeah.
it was a super comfortable spot now.
Nice.
One day, we decided to have a sleepover in the treehouse.
Oh,
Of
that's
course, we
cool.
were kids at that time, so we were thrilled to do it at least once.
Yeah.
We brought up a tent, some pillows, and blankets, and when it got dark, we got inside and started watching a movie on my iPad.
Nice.
As we were watching, we were also munching on various snacks that Luke brought from his house.
That sounded
There
like a
was no
good old
doubt
night,
that
huh?
It was a great time.
Yeah,
Except
man.
towards the end of the movie, as Luke was basically asleep and I was the only one awake.
You heard something.
After all, it was about 1 a.m., so I figured I should also start sleeping. Yet for some reason, I couldn't really fall asleep. So I just laid there,
Okay.
when suddenly I could distinctly make out the noise of a chips bag crunching on the ground level. It was barely noticeable, but but it was enough to make me
Very
think that
distinct,
someone
though.
must have stepped on an empty Cheeto bag that we probably dropped on the ground from the treehouse as we were eating.
That's scary. to
Then
think
I heard
about.
the sound again. But this time it was like the person was slowly getting their foot off the chips bag from accidentally stepping on
Ah.
it. At this point, I started to seriously panic because
Yeah.
I knew for sure someone was down there.
Sure.
Then, a couple moments later, I could feel the treehouse moving and hear the
Somebody
wooden
coming
creaks
up
of
the
someone
steps.
climbing up the ladder slowly.
Wow.
I woke up Luke with wide eyes and quietly told him not to make a sound because someone was climbing up the ladder to the treehouse.
Right.
He instantly understood, and we both stood there,
Thankfully.
silent. The person got up and was now walking on the floorboards of the
Oh my
treehouse,
gosh, dude.
at which point I grabbed my flashlight, just in case. We heard the footsteps approach the tent side
Smacking.
near the small meshed window
The
that was on the
Maglights
left side of the
hardcore, man.
tent.
You could do
And
some
that's when
damage
we
with 'em.
both saw a silhouette block the little bit of light coming from the tent's window. But honestly, it was too dark to make out anything.
Sure.
I was practically certain it was either my dad or brother playing a prank on us. So I decided to turn on my flashlight and point it at the window. Upon doing that, though, I didn't see
Jump
a
scare?
familiar face.
I knew it was coming.
Peeking through
I
the
knew it.
window was a disheveled-looking old man with
Oh my
wide,
gosh.
bulging eyes. Me and Luke started screaming as loud as humanly possible.
Of course.
As we both rushed out of the tent, going to the branches opposite of the treehouse where the man was.
Wow.
I could make out the old man getting down as my dad rushed outside of the house upon hearing us both scream.
Sure.
Then we saw the man rush out of the backyard into the forest.
Wow, man.
He looked really skinny, and my best guess was that he was probably homeless.
Sure.
We got down from the treehouse and into my room, as my dad stayed outside for a while.
Good lord.
We figured
bruh.
it was probably a homeless man who was
Yeah.
used to coming into the treehouse to sleep there from time to time.
Ah,
Granted,
yeah,
that doesn't take
makes
away the
sense.
fact that we were basically scared for our lives that
Well, I
night.
guess
And not
so.
to state the obvious,
I
but we
guess
never
so.
stepped foot in that treehouse again.
That's sad, man. It ruined their little experience. You know, squatters, if you didn't have a place to stay, a treehouse would be a good spot, you know, for homeless. It keeps you out of the weather. It keeps you kind of protected. But if there's some lights in one that you used to frequenting, unless you were expecting company, oh man, I wouldn't mess with it at all, bruh. This guy was probably out of it as well, but thankfully everybody turned out okay. That Mickey Mouse stuff was off the chain though. You guys, Spooked, make sure to subscribe to him. Subscribe to me if you like reaction videos. Thanks so much for watching. As always, this is Zueljin signing off. We'll see you next time.